Well, it's time to upgrade this thing. It did everything we needed it to do. It didn't do great in the mud, but I got to set it up so we can do some bigger hills and some deeper mud. So first things first, we're gonna build some kind of roll bar for this old girl. I tried searching Facebook Marketplace, hoping I could find like some 4x4, some 3x3, so I could build a neat roll bar for this. No luck there. Everything on Marketplace is too thin. So back to the old scrap pile, and we're just gonna hodgepodge this bad boy together. I got a bunch of 4x4, and I got some 2x3, and I got some thick angle iron. So hopefully with a little bit of redneck engineering, we can build something that'll hold this over if it actually rolls. And then we're gonna have to put some bigger tires on this. Something, the more mud terrain, something in that, I don't know, 50 to 60 inch range. And I haven't had much luck finding anything that's gonna fit this truck, so we're gonna have to make something work. So stay tuned, and we'll get to it. Well, that's what she looks like so far. Pretty happy. I burned up all the 4-inch I had laying around. So now we're down to 3x4 for the rest of it, but it'll work. Use some heavy angle iron to tie it all together because I just didn't have enough 4-inch to make it all work. I just bolted her on there. So let's finish her up. All right, there's what the big old roll bar looks like. I think with my redneck engineering skills, she should probably hold if I do roll it, which I really hope we don't come to that, but the creek I'm gonna send this thing into has got some pretty steep hills, and I really don't know how she's gonna do, but we're gonna find out. Well, we're one step closer to getting our wheels and tires. I found these bad boys off of Marketplace for free, so that's right in my price range. I probably won't use the entire wheel, but the issue I'm running into is finding tractor tires with the bolt patterns I need, and it's just next to impossible. So by getting these wheels for free, they got the right bolt pattern. I can just cut the face plates off of them and weld them on to hopefully the right size tractor wheel. In worst case scenario, I can just mount bigger military tires right onto these wheels and they'll bolt right on. So let's see what else I can find on Marketplace. I was able to find some wheels off an old road grader, and they appear that they're gonna have the same lug nut pattern. Hoping they bolt on. They look like they should. The offset is within 1/2 inch of being correct. So we're gonna cross our fingers and hope like heck these things fit on there. They were pretty hard to find, and really nobody gives you the specs on like tractor wheels. You just kind of have to do a ton of research and calling around. And I had to find a junkyard that did old graders. and they were about, I don't know, 350 miles away, but I think they're gonna work. We're gonna see if they fit on there right now. Well, as you just seen, I couldn't get the wheel on because the stud's a little too big for the hole. I usually don't run into that problem. So yeah, let's figure that out. On the rears, believe it or not, the wheel fits on just fine, but my lug nuts that I have for the bud wheels aren't gonna work. So I'm hoping I can buy a centering lug nut that'll work on these bolts here. A little YouTubing and a little Googling. I think I can get it on Monday from a local place here in town. So we're gonna give her a shot, and hopefully I don't have to fabricate the rears. The offset's gonna be, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna, let me kind of get, it's gonna sit about like that, kind of like a Chevy truck where the front end's gonna sit just a touch wider than the rears. But if I don't have to do a ton of fabrication, I can live with that. Well, it appears to work, and it appears to be close enough to center for what we're gonna do. Well, so much for the rear wheels being easy. I really thought I was gonna find some right and left-hand thread lug nuts that were 3/4 16 and that fit into the tapered groove that I already had on the wheels, and no luck. And I'm in Omaha, and there's a ton of truck places, ag places, off-road places. I went to every single one of them, and just no luck finding anything that's going to work. Most of them are these big ones that just have way too big of a center section and taper. And so they're just not going to fit into these wheels. I didn't want to re-drill these wheels out because I got 3/4 inch studs, where on the front I got 1 1/4 studs. So a big old stud on a big hole, I don't have to worry about it flopping around. I can't drill an 1 1/4 hole in these and make it work to where it's not gonna fall off. So luckily I got those other wheels for free. We cut the centers out, so they'll go on there, and then our big stud here will sit in there nice and perfect. And we got a small hole in here just in case for some reason these things come loose a little bit. It's not just gonna wobble all around in there. Now we gotta somehow center all this stuff. And I don't have any kind of wheel welding centering machine, and I'm not gonna set these down on the ground and measure them 400,000 times, and then they're probably not even gonna be perfectly centered anyways. So a little bit of redneck engineering, we got to figure it out. So we got the wheel on there. We got a 7/8 hole and a 3/4 inch bolt in there. So we got some electric conduit that fits almost perfect in there. So we're going to put it in every single one and get it centered.
Okay, that should work. Now I just gotta see how centered it is on my axle. And again, I don't have any feeler gauges. What I do, I just don't know where they're at. So we're gonna use some Allen wrenches and walk them around our axle and see where we need to do a little bit of adjusting. All right, it actually looks like it's pretty darn centered. We'll tighten her up and get to welding.
All right, we finally got some rubber. I looked all over the damn place, trying to get some used tires. Come on, farmers. When you sell used tires, you can't ask more than I can buy them for new. So I gave up on looking. I looked for, I don't know, about a month. And I just broke down and bought some new tires. They were cheaper than what I could buy on freaking Facebook. I ended up getting me some 53-inch rubber. Now we got to make it fit. I know it's not going to fit with my bumper. And I know it's not going to fit with the bottom of my fender. Let's get to cutting this stuff off and get some tires in this bad boy. We got some big old tires on it finally. I'm not gonna lie, they look a lot bigger than I thought they'd look. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more trimming. So I'm gonna trim them and then we're gonna move on to the back ones. Okay, we got the rear tires on. I'm digging it. I'm really liking this bad boy. Okay, let's go wrap up the other side and then go get this. Well, she's all done. Tires are on there. Roll bar's done. I think she turned out pretty darn cool. I'm even kind of digging the yellow wheels. I think it kind of fits this ugly girl. I had to trim the heck out of the fenders and the front bumpers to get them to fit, but they fit and it rides remarkably well. I was kind of shocked at how well it rides. I thought it was going to bounce all over the place, but no, it rides really good. So there she is. Now we got to go play with it. All right, well, we got our big tires on. We got our big mud hole behind us. We got to pull out a couple of these trees here behind me. And I got some laying down in the background there. We're gonna get them pulled out and then we're going to see what this thing can do. I know for a fact it wasn't gonna make it through this mud hole before. So hopefully these big old tires makes it interesting. Well, I was kind of planning on like some hopping and bouncing, but yeah, she just yanked her right out. And my 10,000-pound skid loader, it couldn't even freaking budge that darn tree. So on to the next one. Well, if you can't pull it, I just ram it and yank on it. I still gotta get the other half out. Well, there we go. We finally got one that kind of fought us, but Ole Orange still pulled her out. Well, that didn't take long to bury her down to the axles. gonna go through the area where we got stuck the very first time. And I got a feeling we're just gonna walk it. Well, she walked through that just fine. All right, well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous about this one, but let's freaking send it. Well, we're kind of Austin Powers here. It's stuck in the front, stuck in the back.
Dang, dude. That thing's gonna snap. All right, keep coming back, Matt, a little bit.
so dumb, dude. Do you see how fucking that rope stretched like 4 feet?
How do you feel after that?
Oh, dude. Dude, the going down was easy. The going backwards, back up was a little
You did
spooky.
great.
I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, that rope stretched like 4 feet.
I know, dude.
That is the toughest rope ever. You should put that in the Hall of Fame, dude.
Holy cow.
You see how far
Look backwards and take the loop.
Hey! It's stretching.